Lucas, have been waiting in line for this
Since
thing
yesterday.
for days.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, and they're not even showing a new trailer. What are they waiting for?
Well, probably to see the different people who are in the movie. The only people that you know that are going to be on the panel are J.J. Abrams and Kathleen Kennedy, who runs Lucasfilm. You have to imagine they're going to bring out Oscar Isaac, maybe John Boyega, some of the stars of the movie that they're going to talk about it.
Right.
And some of the Disney people like J.J. have talked about it at events in the past, but not for this audience. You know, these guys will do anything to just get the little tidbit.
We are told they're going to be releasing some sort of behind-the-scenes clip, but everything has been super secretive. We actually talked to an executive from Lego, Amanda Santoro, who talked about Lego makes a lot of, obviously Star Wars Lego sets, and she talked about just how secretive they've been. Take a listen.
Star Wars was the first licensed product that Lego ever created back in 1999. So it really kind of brought Lego into the next generation for builders and both young kids and adult fans. So it's really something that's resonated with our fans. And obviously we see that people love recreating Star Wars in Lego form.
Now, this movie could be the biggest movie Disney's ever made. Like, Morgan Stanley recently projected almost $2 billion in global box office.
That'd make it the second biggest movie ever after
Avatar, right? $2.8 billion. Cory, what are you seeing when you're crunching the numbers about just how big a deal this is, if indeed it lives up to the hype?
Well, I think in the world of business, first of all, they can get to a certain box office number just by opening up enough studios and spending enough money on marketing. And what they're doing at Comic-Con is part of that, to try to drive butts into seats in those first weeks of the movie. But I think the real money, what we know from the history of Star Wars franchise, is the real money is made on the ancillary products. And for all of the billions of dollars of revenues that all of the movies have already garnered in the box office over the course of the last 40-plus years, the big money's been in the stuff. It's been in the toys. It's been in the Kenner products and the Hasbro products and the Lego products, which you mentioned. Upwards of $37 billion in revenue. And it's an integral part of the history of Star Wars.
Right, and I know Hasbro is looking at like $465 million in toys, Star Wars toys.
Integral part of American culture over the last 30 years. I mean, you need those movies to open for all those ancillary revenue streams to open up.
Right.
If you're Disney, you're not going to sell a bunch of toys or video games if you don't get kids hooked on episode 7, 8, 9.
What are the chances, Lucas, that this movie is not as big of a hit as people are saying it could be?
Really small.
Really small.
Yeah.
Really small. You have faith in J.J. Abrams?
I do. He took Star Trek and made 2 hit movies. They weren't phenomenal, but they were pretty good. Star Wars is much bigger than Star Trek. Star Trek is a niche hit. Star Wars is
but people's expectations are so high.
Yeah, but the thing that gives me faith is the cast. They did a really good job picking different actors who are not movie stars but have been excellent in a number of movies.
All right, Lucas Shaw, thanks so much. Cory Johnson, our editor. Okay, go ahead. What did you want to say, Cory?
Well, I was going to say is the history of the franchise also was created by the ancillary products as well. I mean, the funding for the second film after Bank of America cut off funding was made for by George Lucas by the ability of selling toys. So it's an integral part of this whole thing. It's not just about cast and film.